Hello, good people. Welcome to the Kuhb Games YouTube channel. My name is Evan, and we play GOATs here. Today, we're going to be talking about the GOATformat.com Patreon World Championship Qualifier, or PWCQ, number 56 that I played today. We're just going to be going over the replays. I didn't really want to record while I was playing, since it was my first experience playing one of the Go Format online tournaments. But we do have all of the replays from every round. First, we're going to be going over just the deck. So you kind of know what's going on with the card choices in all of the videos. So, starting out, of course, playing the 1 BLS, self-explanatory, 3 Blade Knight, 1 DD Warrior Lady, 1 Exiled Force, 1 Mystic Swordsman level 2, 1 Sasuke, 1 Donzalug, 2 Kaikus, a Breaker, and a Trap Infecting Virus. All of these are fairly standard for a Warrior main deck, so I'm not going to go into those too much. Of course, we have the Trinity, Heavy Storm, Mystical Space Typhoon, Snatch Steel, Premature Burial, 2 Nox, and 2 Rotas. Again, just pretty self-explanatory on all of that. Didn't want to play a copy of Book of Moon, though it is a card that I've been testing recently. Just doesn't feel like it's pulling enough weight right now. The trap lineup, however, is huge, and that is how I've liked to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Ever since I first started. So pretty happy with this trap lineup mostly. So we have the major traps, Mirror Force, 1 Ring, Torrential, just 1 Jar of Greed. This is a card that I've wanted to try out at 2. I think you can actually cut maybe the 3rd Sakuretsu armor for it, but testing for the GGP in Atlanta will decide kind of where I'm going on the numbers on Jar of Greed. Is a card that I'm kind of looking at. 1 Call of the Haunted, 2 Dust Tornadoes. I have played this at 3 in the past, and I actually did think about going to 1 in the main, but I do think that this card is still just very good, so I wanted to play the 2. I did opt to play the 3 Sakuretsu armors, like I talked about. Not sure if this is really the way to go. I do feel like this card has a little bit more agency in the Chaos Turbo matchup than it used to. Though I think it actually gains traction in the post-board games in that matchup, so maybe moving the 3rd one to the sideboard is the way to go. I really like it whenever they bring in like the Zomburas and Berserk Gorillas if they're playing that, and they try to beat over your monsters while also setting traps. So while I think this card has gotten a little better in that matchup, maybe not main decking 3 is the way to go. I do play the 3 Solemn Judgments and 3 Trap Dust Shoots. I know a lot of people play around with the numbers of this card. This card's just so good. I think you should just play 3 of it. To be honest, it helps you get to a simplified game state. It lets you know when you need to flip your judgments, when you need to use your traps, because you just have all of the information going on. The card's excellent against Turbo, which of course is just the best deck. The card's always good against the control decks because they don't really set a whole lot of cards and stuff like that. So I think you should just be playing 3 of this card. I think it is just that good. For the side, I played 2 Mobius. I don't know. I've been a little less impressed with this card recently, so maybe this one gets cut down to 1. I do think you still want to keep at least 1 in the deck, but maybe just drop it down to 1. 3 King Tiger Wanghus. Usually don't see more than 2 in most sideboards, and a lot of times you just see 1. This card is just so good against the control decks, and against any recruiter deck. It's really good against Reasoning Gate. It's really good against Burn. I don't think you should really play less than 3 of these. Whenever you look at like the actual meta, you don't need to side a whole lot for Chaos Turbo. Even though your matchup gets a little worse post-board, that's just because their board is so big for your deck. So you have a lot of room in the sideboard. I think you can actually afford to play 3 of these. Going along the lines of King Tiger, we do have 1 Ashura Priest that helps clean up scapegoats and stuff like that. I do really like this package for the control decks. We have 2 Gravekeeper Spies and a Zombura. I like that split. I do like the Zombura because it is searchable off of Rhoda. So if you need to get that big beater, you effectively have 3 copies of it in the deck. However, I do still like Gravekeeper Spy, especially if you're playing 2 Mobius. I think it just makes a whole lot of sense there whenever you're playing the mirror and decks that you want to bring in both of these in. Past that, we have another little bit of a flip package. I have 1 Magician of Faith, which a lot of Warrior players have been playing for a long time, so not really too much to explain there. But the 1 Morphing Jar I think is a little weird. I mostly started playing this because I have a tournament pack for Morphing Jar that I won in a paper goat tournament. And I was like, maybe we can shoehorn this guy in the deck and play with him. It's actually been pretty good. I mostly just bring it in against the control decks. Again, just like I said, with Trap Dust Shoot being good in that matchup because they keep a lot of cards in hand, I think that means Morphing Jar is actually good in those matchups. Your opponent is not going to plus off it as much as you are, and I think that works very well into what you want to be doing, especially with this huge trap lineup. You can just kind of one for one a little bit and then completely refill, and then your opponent's just not going to be able to play the game, really. Past that, we have one Mind Control, specifically for Chaos Turbo. I guess you could bring it in against Burn as well. This card's just good, and it is one of like 2 cards that I side in against Turbo. So, solid inclusion there. 2 Zings in Who. Really like this card in the mirror, like it against Burn a lot. This card is just really good, and like I didn't want to side dedicated Burn hate cards because I think Burn's a little bit on the decline, even though I think the deck's probably pretty well positioned right now. So I opted for Zing Zinhu because it's also good in the mirror. And if you look at the sideboard, that's kind of how all of it is. You have a large package to bring in against Burn. You have the 2 Mobius, the 3 King Tigers. You have the Mind Control, the Zing Zinhu, and of course the last card, Dust Tornado. But you don't have to play anything like Mystic Walk, Amazoness Archer, stuff like that that's not going to be good in any other matchup. You get to just kind of be like good across the board while also playing cards that are kind of haymakers against Burn. Zing Zinhu just being a plus against Burn is huge. Burn can't really afford to be super down on cards. So I like Zing Zinhu and Dust Tornado a lot there. Same with Mobius. Just put some down cards. King Tiger can put them down cards because it's really good against Ojamas. If they don't flip it up in your standby and you just play King Tiger, a lot of times you can just win the game from there. So that's kind of the philosophy with the sideboard there, but that is the deck profile, and that is the deck that I played. So we will go ahead and get into the games.